Hey everyone, welcome to my new video series called The Layman's Apologist. I say layman because I'm not that smart. All I know is that I love God and that there are reasons as to why I believe specific things about the Christian faith, and so I just want to kind of share some of those with you. My purpose in creating these videos is to simply help people that believe but maybe don't understand how to express that intellectually. And if you don't believe, that's okay. It might help you understand as to why or how somebody could believe. My goal is not to say that those who don't believe are dumb or foolish. I don't believe anything of the sort, but rather I have simply felt the need just to share why I believe. Also understand that I'm giving very short, brief answers to some deep theological questions, and so this is not going to be a elaborate explanation of specific things. Rather, it's just a short overview of like, hey, this is why I believe this specific thing. Also, I don't know all the answers. I'm continuing to ask questions every single day, and I want you to know if you're asking questions, that's a good thing. Questions lead you to find answers, to find truth. So keep questioning things. I'm going to try to make these videos as frequently as I can. I don't know how often that's going to be, but if you want to be notified every time I upload a video, then you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also like to play music. A lot. So I have a lot of music videos on there as well. So subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified whenever new videos are uploaded, and make sure you like this video and share with your friends. Okay, the first question I want to tackle is, why do I believe in God? It's a pretty big question. Well, there's multiple reasons I believe, but let me just give you just a few. The Big Bang. All of our understanding says that space, time, and matter had a beginning. Scientists say this. All scientific evidence we have points to that there was a beginning in time. Nearly 14 billion years ago. Not 6,000 years ago. That's another video. Frank Turek says that if space, time, and matter had a beginning, then whatever created space, time, and matter can't be made of space, time, and matter. That being must be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. That being must be powerful, must be creative, must be intelligent, must be personal to decide to create. Another reason I believe is because of morality. There is something in each of us that understands morality, although we may differ as to the origin of that. We all know right from wrong. I'm not saying we all do right. I'm simply saying we understand right from wrong. I believe that morality cannot be subjective, which means it's not my opinion or your opinion. There has to be an objective standard of morality in which we all base things and weigh things on the scale. Either they measure up or they don't measure up to that standard. Some people may say, hey, what's right for you isn't right for me. But I don't agree with that. Because if you break a promise to that person, they're going to be angry. This doesn't just work with promises. It works with, we all understand that life is valuable. We all understand that you shouldn't take something that doesn't belong to you. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody abides by this. It simply means that we know right from wrong. And there's this objective standard that we point everything to. Some people say morality is defined by society, but I don't agree with that either. The Nazi Society defined that Germans were superior to Jews, and this justified them practicing genocide and wiping out Jews. After the war ended, for years and decades, we would find Nazi Germans and we would hold them accountable. And they would say, hey, we were just following the orders from our government. And we would say, well, you should have followed the orders above your government. In other words, we were putting an objective standard of right versus wrong and said, you didn't measure up. No matter what your society deemed as right or wrong, you didn't measure up to that. We see this in many societies. North Korea, we see this in dictators of the past, and Stalin and so many others, that they would try to define right from wrong, but it didn't measure up to that objective standard of right and wrong and morality. There's a moral compass inside of us that tells us kind of what's right and what's wrong, and that cannot be our personal opinion. It has to be something deeper that's written on our hearts that tells us, hey, this is right, this is wrong. Now, you may say, hey, if morality is real, if this objective standard of morality is real, Christians sure don't add up to it, and they don't live by it, and I don't disagree. In fact, at times, I don't think any of us abide by it. If morality was subjective, that's a terrifying thing, because we all know the nightmarish evils we are prone to. We look at the evil that's in this world and we understand that there is a perfect standard of goodness that we are measuring things up against. So in my opinion, there's a powerful being that created space, time, and matter, that being was powerful, that it was personal, that it was creative, that it decided to create. We believe that there's this moral compass in which we kind of judge things and weigh things on this scale of morality, that we judge right from wrong. And lastly, there's this person named Jesus. As far as I'm aware, there is no historian, atheist, agnostic, Christian, or any other kind of religion that denies the fact that Jesus was a real person 2,000 years ago. Nobody doubts that he existed. Jesus is mentioned in many texts, not just the Bible. By the way, the Bible is not just one book, it is many books. It's a compilation of many books written by many different authors put together. Jesus is not only mentioned in multiple books of these, but he's also mentioned in the Quran. He's mentioned by ancient historians, by Josephus, by Tacitus, and many others. And this is a culture where reading and writing were very rare, so we tend to listen and pay attention when people are written about or people are talked about. He really shined a light on this moral compass, this scale in which we measure the actions of ourselves and others. He called us to live better, to love others, to mainly love that ultimate standard of goodness. And that's what he claimed God was, and that's precisely who he claimed to be. Now, our faith is not built on Jesus' death, but in his resurrection. The Roman government and the government of Jesus' day, the most powerful government on earth, hated Christians. The real miracle is that Christianity survived the first century. To stop it, all they needed to do was provide the body of Jesus. I mean, this is the most powerful government in the world. That's the only thing that they had to do, and they didn't do it. It seems like a simple task for the government of their day. So we have evidence that there was a beginning to everything, the Big Bang, that space-time and matter came into existence, and whatever created that had to be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. We believe that there is this man named Jesus who lived, that shined a light on this moral compass and this objective standard of morality. Not only is the creator of the universe powerful and creative and personal, but he's also the ultimate standard of goodness. Now, these are just a few reasons as to why I believe. And these reasons really speak to the head, not to the heart. There are many reasons from personal experiences why I believe as well, but these are more personal. Our experiences make us, and ultimately learning all these reasons need to be coupled with personal experience. I'll give my thoughts on more questions in the future with future videos, but until then, keep asking questions.